like to introduce our next speaker. Strong Tower Ministries is a ministry that does short-term mission trips to Mexico, and they've got an incredible track record, and it's a great opportunity for you and to go down with your family, or maybe even to bring a church down. So DJ, come on up and tell us what's going on down in Baja.
I don't know how Barnabas Partners do it. I had the privilege of sitting through all the presentations yesterday in San Diego, and I wanted to fill out 6 forms myself and get involved with some of the great ministries that are presented, so prayers be with you. I'm not sure how you guys sort that out. But I'm here today to present Strong Tower Ministries and share about the work that we're doing in Baja. Strong Tower Ministries, in an odd way, is a mini version of Barnabas. We work with many ministries throughout northern Baja, and we screen them for the fruits they're doing. They're doing good, active work. We talk about the fact that we back the heroes on the ground in Baja. And we do that by channeling volunteer efforts. Leaders like yourselves, contractors, doctors, whatever skills people have available, we are there to help channel them into short-term missions into northern Mexico. Weekend trips, one-day trips, week-long trips. And we have over a decade of history of working and partnering with ministries throughout Mexico. Today you're going to be hearing from various speakers. And one of the things I heard yesterday was they frequently referred to their defining moment, when they knew what they were supposed to do with their lives. And Strong Tower is about encouraging those defining moments, putting people in position, bumping them up against ministries where God can show them something incredible, what God might want them to do with their lives. Thank you. He stole my clicker. Okay. Borrowed. Okay. 25 years ago, I was like many of you in this room. My wife and I lived in Orange County. I was a very successful businessman. I sold furniture. I sold a lot of furniture. I was good at it. In my spare time, I was a Christian businessman. That's powerful. But in my spare time, I helped run the high school group. I taught a study at Vineyard Anaheim, up the freeway from here. And I was bringing the high school group down to Mexico. Weekend trips, serving in Mexico. Wasn't crazy about Mexico, but I saw the change it made in my high school group, and I kept going back. One day, circumstances lined up, and the orphanage we were going to, that was kind of a sad, depressing little orphanage, unfortunately many of them are, needed something basic. They needed a water pump, and I drove it down. Not a big deal. But I had a defining moment that day. You don't think about it, but every child in an orphanage had a first day. And if they're old enough to remember what that day is, they will remember that day the rest of their lives. It is a branding, horrifying experience that will be with them forever. And I was just there that day at that orphanage. I was just hanging out, watching what was going on, and a 10-year-old boy was being dropped off. And I could see the terror on them. And I had absolutely nothing. I didn't speak the language, but even if I did, I couldn't tell him everything was going to be okay. I couldn't tell him he's going to get back together with his family. I had absolutely nothing. And I sat with him. We split a Coke. He cried. We walked around. I got in my car and drove home. And it had a profound impact on me. I hurt for him a lot. But in driving back here to Orange County, it struck me and it had a profound impact. I had never felt so used by God as sitting with that kid at that moment when he needed somebody. And I wanted more of that in my life. Within a year, we walked away from our company. My wife and I moved to Mexico. We took over managing a struggling orphanage, and we've been there ever since. We've been there for 24 years today. And although I just spent 5 minutes talking about me, it really isn't about me. God has a sense of humor. We moved to Mexico not speaking the language, without any great missions team behind us. We did everything wrong, but we weren't bright enough to know you weren't supposed to do it like that. But God has a sense of humor, and he brought up great collaborative partners to work with us. And we saw how important that is, and that's one of the reasons I love reading about what Barnabas does. It was collaborative partnerships that came alongside us, that helped us in the areas that we didn't know, and they moved us forward. About 10 years into our experience, we ran into Strong Tower Ministries. Strong Tower Ministries approaches Ministries, and I'm going to start some slides of projects that we've worked on. Strong Tower Ministries comes along, heroes in the field, doing good work in Baja, and they ask them, what do you need? And they approached us, and we said, we care for infants, but our facility is a wreck. We really need a new building. And they came alongside us, and they were incredible. I've never seen a team like this. A team of professionals, high-end architects, engineers, people to handle permit processes. And they built, over about a 3-year period, a $250,000 infant care facility on our property. They moved in like locusts, channeling individuals to use their skills and talents to make a difference. They moved in, tackled the project, cut the ribbon, and walked away. But I was enamored with their model. And over the last decade, I've been advising with them and recently started working with them more and more to encourage people to get involved, because I believe short-term missions changes us fundamentally. We are designed to serve others, and Strong Tower Ministries is about channeling people to use their efforts for the kingdom, use their hours and their resources effectively, and have a powerful impact for the kingdom. And we love teaching people what service is about. This group gets that. You guys know how important service is. You know how important it is to God. And we believe by helping people enter into service in a deeper fashion, we help them grow in their faith, grow in their life, and receive joy in this life. Everybody here has been to Disneyland? Okay. And you're saved or you're not saved. There's a line there. But also, once you're saved, what do you do with that? And I love the analogy. You're into Disneyland, you get your tickets, you go through the turnstile, and you see the big floral Mickey. And too many people stop there. I'm in Disneyland. I'm in the gate. But until you walk through those tunnels and up Main Street, you don't really experience the joy of what Disneyland is. And Strong Tower Ministries is here to help people, usher people in to that joy of service. In a typical year, we run between 500 to 1,000 volunteers into Mexico. Last year, we coordinated over 8,000 hours of volunteer service. The first project Strong Tower built, they partnered with a very, very small orphanage in downtown Tijuana that was doing great work, bringing kids right out of the sex trade in the red light district in Tijuana. But they needed a facility, and they built them a spectacular, beautiful orphanage right there where they needed to be. They went on to do a documentary. They partnered with a home and a school for deaf children, a very marginalized section of Mexico. And this home said, we need to get the word out. And they produced a 45-minute award-winning documentary for that deaf school. We're not just about construction projects, we're about medical clinics, medical outreach, food outreach. Whatever talents are available, Strong Tower Ministries exists to channel people into those projects. I shared about our infant care facility. They went on to build a large missions training center in Guadalupe Valley in the wine country in Mexico, if you don't know where that is. That is just spectacular. A year and a half ago, we dedicated a new facility south of Ensenada specifically for special needs orphans, also a huge need. There was a ministry down there doing fantastic work with a group of kids that a lot of people don't want to work with. And they needed a facility, and we dedicated a facility that is spectacular, that would look fine architecturally and quality-wise anywhere in Orange County. Strong Tower does quality work when they come alongside and partner with the ministries they work with. Currently, in half an hour from where my wife and I live, and we work in Baja, they are building, Strong Tower Ministries, we are building a 6,000 square foot medical clinic. It's about a third build, using tradesmen from the U.S., architects from both the U.S. and Mexico, hiring locals in Mexico to partner with us with the construction, providing jobs locally. And we hope to be opening that clinic by the end of the year. The first phase of that clinic will be open. That clinic already exists. There's a small medical team that's been doing great work in our town for about 10 years out of 2 little rooms downstairs at our church. A powerful ministry doing incredible work. Strong Tower Ministries is helping them do it in a larger scale, more effectively. And that's what Strong Tower Ministries is about. channeling people like you to be as effective as possible for the kingdom. About 2 years ago, we brought somebody down. There's a Strong Tower team member who's a realtor, and there was a job that she was working on. She had a house in Mission Viejo that she was selling and needed major remodel. And they put the bid out for the plumbing contract. It was a major plumbing contract, and it was almost as a joke. At the bottom of the contract, almost in little print, if you get the contract, you have to volunteer a weekend in Mexico. And she just put it out there. And somebody took the contract, they got the contract, and shockingly, they followed through on that commitment. And they came down and they spent a weekend in Mexico. They went down to the special needs orphanage that was being built south of Ensenada. Now, this is a guy that didn't look like a missionary. He had spent extensive time in prison. He was tatted up, fairly intimidating, and he had had a rough go of life. But he was going to follow through on that commitment for that weekend in Mexico. That weekend transformed his life. He's now down every third weekend, working on various Strong Tower projects. He's currently in charge of all the plumbing work going into the medical center. It has transformed his life. Service changes us fundamentally. We are designed to serve others. Not only has it transformed his life, it's transformed his business. His business took off once he started volunteering. I believe in tithing our time also. And it has transformed his life. Service is important to God. Jesus spent 3 years serving others. His last moment with the apostles, he could have done anything, he could have taught anything. He chose foot washing to give them that example, to humbly serve others. Strong Tower is about channeling people into those efforts. If you're interested in going on a trip, a one-day trip, 2-day trip, a week-long trip, it doesn't have to be a big group. We run carloads down of 2, 3, 4 people at times. But if you're interested in seeing what's available, we need IT help, we need advisors, we need tradespeople, we need medical professionals, but everybody has something to give. An electrician that's been coming down, he's retired, but he's been coming down with his wife. And they come down, and they all have places to serve. The medical clinic is very close to our orphanage. We currently have 18 babies. There's a reason I'm up here. Okay. We have 18 babies. We have a great staff. They get lots of attention. But this retired couple, they come down. He drops her off at our facility, and what she brings to the table is cuddles. She holds babies all day long while he's pulling wire at the clinic. Everybody has something to give, and Strong Tower Ministries is about channeling those efforts. Okay. Even if you're mildly interested, please take a moment to fill out the response card. We'd love to get you on the list and get you informed about what we're doing and find other ways we can partner with you. We do have a brochure, and our table is all the way on my left, your right over here, and we'll have people over there during the break and throughout the day. But we thank you guys, and we'll be praying with you guys today as you decide who you're going to be serving. There's some great ministries presented here, and want to encourage you in that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, DJ. Are there any ladies here that would like to cuddle babies? I think you might have got some takers on that one, DJ. If you're trying to use the app, you might want to turn off your Wi-Fi because we're probably overloading the hotel's Wi-Fi. So turn off the Wi-Fi and just go on your data plan and see if that works, because a lot of you are trying to use that. Let's just pray for DJ and Strong Towers. Father, we just come before you, and I just thank you for what you did in DJ's heart 24 years ago to get he and his wife to move down to Baja, to take over an orphanage, and to see the fruit that's been born through that, Lord. Most of us, it's just, to drive down there for the day is a tough decision, but to go for 24 years is a major one. So we just thank you for his faithfulness, Lord, for what you've done through him. Pray that you would bring people here around him, around Strong Tower Ministries, and that he might be blessed, and the Strong Tower might be blessed through the efforts of people here in this room today. So we just thank you for that. We just pray this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you.